Yeah. And Ramana Maharshi also, he's not one of, I don't want to comment on this is right, this is wrong. You can always do your spiritual journey with materialistic life also, by acknowledging, by accepting. He was someone who just didn't have anything. With that eyes, he has everything in him. It's like he knows everything. That look of Bhagavan itself will be like everything dissolves in your body when you're in front of him. Even now when I'm looking at the picture of Bhagavan, the way he looks is like it dissolves. You just can't be egoistic. I think you just forget who you are. One thing I want to ask is that when Bhagwan was fighting cancer, we all know that he did fight cancer. But at that stage, even being, I know he's Bhagwan, and he was like, this is the body. The body is getting pain, or the body is the one dealing with it. It's not me. Being that level of detachment, how should we understand that? What should we learn from it, to the least?
Our identification with the body creates suffering. Pain would be there in the body, but no suffering would be there. So pain and suffering are two different things. Same is our interest to get something for the body. If it is needed, it will happen. But if you are doing for sensory indulgence, then it is the attachment. So we should understand what is the need of the body and what is the greed of the body. Greed comes with the attachment, and need is just fulfilled in its usual way. So not just Bhagwan, I'll tell you about Suri Nagamma, who was Bhagwan.
Suri Nagamma was the devotee of Bhagwan.
Yeah. So she was in mid-70s, she developed the cancer exactly at the same place where Bhagwan had, exactly at the same period. And at that time, she was living in Bombay. And you know the story behind? She came to Bhagwan when Bhagwan was suffering, and she said to Bhagwan, Bhagwan, you share everything with everyone. Whatever food anyone brings, you share with everyone. And why can't you share the disease with us? And she prayed and prayed and prayed in front of Bhagwan. And Bhagwan only used one word, hum. She had no clue what hum means, like yes or just agreeing or acknowledging. But when in 1975-76 she got the cancer at the same, she realized that Bhagwan humbly accepted her prayer because she wanted to share it. Now she did another prayer to Bhagwan that Bhagwan, now I've got this, and it was I who wanted it, and I wanted to share that pain. But just give me that strength to endurance for that pain, if I can bear that pain. And that also came to her. She said that was the only prayer I did. And she got, and she had no clue how it will go through, but then it melted away. And then for next 2 years she was able to move. She came to Ramana Ashram, and after that she died. What I'm trying to tell you is that all what we pray to Bhagwan gives everything enough, and he tries to make us understand even in suffering. Suffering is sometimes very important for us to understand, that to ask this question, who is suffering?
Yes.
Because suffering to the body or to the mind is not suffering to us.
Yes.
It is our identification with it which makes us feel that we are suffering.
Yes. In that detailedness, when you said pain and suffering, if you observe keenly, pain, yes, it is paining to you. But do you choose to suffer? Is when you choose that this is me, that ego is getting hurt because of that pain. That's when you suffer. So when you just leave it at that, that's when you don't suffer. I think, isn't that the small detail difference? It's not that it's not hurting for Bhagwan. Of course it's hurting, because there were, I think, insects also eating the wound, and they had to clean Bhagwan's wound constantly, right? So that small detail, if we can apply it into the smallest details of life, I think that itself answers everything. And there is this story also where there is a thief, he hit Bhagwan, right? And then Bhagwan was like, what happened? There is nothing, you don't have to do anything to him. Like, can you please explain that in your words? I want to hear it from you.
So the thieves broke in, and they thought these people might be having money, but they had no money, they were
because it's an ashram, he thought he'll have a lot of money.
It was just huts. There was not a proper ashram.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And sometimes there was no food even to eat. But when they did all that, what these thieves have to do, some people got angry and they thought they should teach a lesson to these thieves and beat them. And Bhagwan said, no, they are thieves and we are saints. So if a sannyasi is doing what a thief is doing, then what is the difference between us? So at the end, Bhagwan said, if you want to eat, we have some food. you can eat, and then you can go. And also when the police at the end caught the thieves and they came to Bhagwan to identify, Bhagwan said, I don't know. So he was so humble to even the people who were. So some people were very sad that they thrashed Bhagwan, with stick. And Bhagwan said, you praise all the time, so someone has to balance it.
Wow. Wow.
That is not equanimity. Bhagwan is in that equanimity which we all can be if we touch our own blissful self. And this issue with suffering and pain to the body and all this is because we are in the ego mode attached to the body mind. The moment we start doing self-inquiry, self-attention, and trying to abide in our pure silence, all this will sort out on its own. We don't need to read too many books also. Practice is more important than reading books, because books are at intellectual level. Once you know what you need to do, then just do it. Then try to practice to stay in the self.
Can you give a small detail, like this is how you should do it? Give me a small example in a day-to-day life, and then the difference of doing it without ego, because trust me, the ego is the worst thing happening right now to everyone.
When we wake up in the morning when we wake up, it's the mind which is in a state of waking. Our state never changes. Our state is that awareness, that emptiness, which is aware of these three states in which the body changes because of the mind. Now mind is in the waking. The mind in the waking, a thought comes and it wants you to do this or that. You stay as the observer, as a witness to whatever the body is doing. A thought is coming. It is like you are behind the scene. You are the screen and you're just watching it. If you understand what I'm trying to tell you, if you start practicing it, you keep slipping away, because some thoughts are very intense with emotions and they will pull you. But if you keep practicing, you will start noticing that you can survive even with any type of thought, and you don't have to act on those thoughts. You don't have to be slave of your mind. And once this gap comes between you and the mind, you have won half the battle. Then throughout the day, you have to stay as a detached witness to whatever is happening. Someone is arguing, someone is doing something you don't like. And just in staying as an observer, all likings, dislikings, attachments, desires, apprehensions become so clear, because this is the best place from where the whole picture is so clear. The more you stay first with efforts, and then it becomes natural, because that is our natural state. Body is not our natural state. So the practice, how long the practice has to be continued? Till it becomes effortless. And for how long the practice needs to be done? Morning you wake up till you go to bed. So it's a practice in the whole waking time. It's not like you sit for 1 minute or 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours. It is the constant practice. When this constant practice, let's say I want to because a lot of people think meditation is for 5 minutes or 1 hour or 2 hours. The problem is that, okay, you can start like that. But the problem is if you spend another 12 hours in all egoistic mode and doing all that nonsense with your ego, then the effect of the 2 hours might last for 6 hours, and then that another 6 hours you are in the ego mode, and then whatever you have earned in that meditative state, you have already lost everything.
Okay.
So
for like example, let's say somebody said something really bad to you. Okay, you got hurt, but so at that point, what the mind should be doing is that who got hurt. First question, is that how you do it? Like, who got hurt here and who said it, and the response. So for the practice, tell me, like, the response should be like, so should I act on it immediately, or okay, it what happened to you? Like, did you got, like, how do you initially, like, step by step, how do you dissect it and get it into practice? Let's say somebody said something really bad to you and got hurt. That first time when you're doing it, oh, it's me who got hurt, but it's not easy. It's not easy. You will get hurt. So how do you practice that, like, step by step?
Okay, so to practice it, you should practice in the peaceful time, not in the warfare time. Like
No, I want in the warfare time, because see, the more,
No, but to start, your practice
to start. Okay, right.
Because the country which wins the war is the one who is practicing during the peaceful time. So your practice should be there in the morning there's no one, you are on your own, you're in solitude. You sit in your prayer room, in your meditation room, or wherever you have space where you are just on your
Or
own.
you just don't wake up and then do it and then wake up from your bed. Is that okay?
You can do anywhere, just
Okay.
get out, and then you are not with people. You stay in that awareness where it's now easy because there's no one arguing with you.
Yes.
Nothing. You get solidify yourself in that observer. Then you move out, then you do things, you wash dishes, or you have a shower, or you cook meals, or whatever. Again, we spend so much of time just on our own, not with anyone else. In that time, you can just be with that self, that awareness, not with your thoughts, not just thinking all the time, then I have to do this, I have to do this, whatever, or someone said to me this. Because at that moment, you have precious time to stay with yourself. So you can stay in your heart just as a witness. Witness is also not a good word, because what are you witnessing? There's nothing to witness. Like witnessing thoughts, then you get involved in thoughts.
Yes.
Just be. And then let's say at the end of the day, when you're witnessing everything is fine, someone argues with you. Now you have gained that strength to be detached, so you can see what is happening. Because the one who is arguing with is not arguing with you, he's arguing with this body mind and this body mind's habit. And this body mind must have done something stupid before. That's why he's arguing now. He has a story of this body mind. He doesn't know that now you know that you are not body mind, you are pure awareness. But that person doesn't know. So you should have more compassion for that person, because he's getting fooled by your body mind.
Yeah.
So just be in your silence, and then how long a person can abuse you? How long? When there's no reaction coming from you, then the person will stop, and then he may or may not admit his mistake, but he will find peace in you if you're not arguing, if you don't have that negative energy. And that is the winning. The moment you win these small battles in life, in a way, by your silence, you gain that strength. Then you understand how foolishly I used to fight and then argue and then feel upset and all this thing. There's nothing to done. Like, these are images coming in this world, coming from the projection of your own mind. There's nothing external. Even when we say how to deal with people, people are coming from your own mind. They are not external. When you wake up, the whole world comes. And when you go into deep sleep, everything goes away.
Okay, so you have to practice being in deep sleep by actually not being in deep sleep, literally.
Yeah, that is Jagrat Sushupti. Jagrat Sushupti is that state in which you are awake, but your behavior is as if you're in deep sleep, non-reacting to anything. And it will come. If you're Bhagwan's devotee, it has to come to you.
Yes, yes.